Hello viewers, today I'm going to make this video as a tutorial or a sharing on how to create paper models of different vehicles to add that to your airport model setup from resources that you can find online and process them all for free. Okay, now we know these days we can got lots of different contents resources online, often for free. But in terms of paper model, they often don't come at the scale that you want. That is, for example, if you want a particular piece of vehicles or equipment to add to your model collection, but the only one or two that you can find online is come in a completely different scale or some weird random size that they only come in, and that is very frustrating as a model maker. If that's you, this video is for you. This video will be focusing on vehicle models, ground support equipment, GSE, for airports models which are 1 to 400 or 1 to 500 scale. Now, I suppose these principles could be applied elsewhere, but the focus and example given in this video will be focusing on airports because model airports is what this channel is about. We will start with what paper model resources are out on the internet and then move on to how to resize them to the correct scale for printing and assembly. So first of all, if you type into Google paper model templates airport GSE, for example, you got all sorts of different results. You can see for example that staircase or a bunch of different things with varying degree of quality and accuracy. For example, this catering truck is a bit blurry in place, at least this particular version of it. So it may not be the best quality, but I mean it may print out okay in 1 to 500 scale, because 1 to 500 scale is quite small. And for example, this Qantas bus is quite good quality with quite a lot of details. And on the internet you got all sort of things, model templates of all different kinds. There are always some that you may find interesting or suitable. For example, this ANA website, they got really quite good templates of sorts of different airport GSE, but they are intended for a very large size and scales, so it may not be what you want if you're doing a 1 to 400 or 1 to 500 model, but they are good resource online. So I guess what I mean is we can just find whatever we want online, just find it, compare it, and download whatever you feel suitable regardless of scale. Because this video will talk about how to rescale it properly, but for now just download whatever that suits you. Here I will just speed on the clips in the background while I talk about a few more points about model ideas. So use your imagination to think of things that appears in the real airports that you can add to models, such as transportation for passengers to arrive and leave the airport in, for example, National Express coach in London Stansted Airport, tube trains at London Heathrow, or Toyota Prius as a kind of Uber. Basically, you can find them in every single airport nowadays. And of course, very important are the emergency service. In searching for models in this way, it allows you to find the typical style of vehicles that are commonly used in your continents if you're to accept countries. And here are two tips. First, watermarks are usually okay. Sometimes when you find a model, they got the watermark stick all over the place and on top of the template itself. But usually after you scale it down and also when you print it out and assemble it, the final product is basically invisible. But of course you can always Photoshop it or perhaps use some AI magic to make them go away. But that's not something that I want to talk about in this video. Second one, and there are sometimes model templates that are designed for large scale model. Sometimes they got too many separate tiny parts and just too complicated to be reduced in scale. So perhaps on your final assembly, maybe skip some of the detailed parts, or perhaps if that's not possible, you may have to try to find something else to make. Sometimes templates are in PDF format, such as the one that is on ANA website. You need to convert it into image file because the website we are about to use doesn't allow PDF. That is a relatively straightforward process that I'm not going to go deep into. Now, this is the main course of this video, how to rescale model templates of vehicles. While there are numerous ways to achieve that, such as by professional software such as Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, or free software such as Inkscape, they undoubtedly provide better results and more functionalities. But for this video, I'll be using an online tool that's called Vectra, because this is free and relatively easy to use and the final product is acceptable in quality. For this session, I will be using red highlighted text to explain what button I clicked and blue highlighted text for what action I'm actually doing. To start, Google Vectra, that's spelled Vectr, and click Use Now to start, and then select New Artwork to start your artwork. Select the correct paper size that you are going to use and make sure that it is selected as 300 dpi or the higher resolution that's available. And now this is your canvas. Select and drop the templates that you intend to rescale onto the canvas. Use the shape tool to create a square. Make sure it is not filled. Under the dimension parts, untick the lock symbol to make it a very wide rectangle. Then here comes the important parts, the key to the size and scale. Now, very generally speaking, with some notable exception, the width of vehicles are the same. They need to fit within the standard traffic lane. Therefore, if we work out the width of the vehicle in scale, we have the reference point to scale the vehicles to. Now, ignoring the minor differences that are insignificant in the miniature model form, heavy vehicles like buses, lorries, that are generally 2.5 meters wide, and smaller cars that are generally 1.8 meters wide. So divide that by 400 or 500, and we can figure out what the width for the model should be. And for other special cases that are outside of the norm stated in the table, you can use the known length or width of the vehicle and do the same math to work out what it is in scale. While we are on a detour, it is probably a good time to give a tip on using Vectra. To move an object in front of or behind another, tap open the Layer function. All the items on the canvas are represented on the Layer tab. Objects on the top of the Layer tab are displayed in the front of the canvas relative to other objects. To move things to the front or to the back, tap on the object on the canvas. This will automatically highlight that on the Layer tab. Drag it to the top or bottom on the layer as you wish. With that, back to the templates. Now we got a correctly sized rectangle as a reference. We just need to scale the templates downloaded earlier based on that. Press Shift while rotating object to the position you want. Drag the corner to resize in scale. Zoom in to make sure the width of the vehicles aligns as much as possible with the referencing rectangle drawn earlier. Take your time to scale it and double check it. Repeat the process to every template download. Now this is probably a bad example because as mentioned, the car should be 1.8 meters wide, quite a bit narrower than what's drawn here. Anyway, after the resizing, arrange the template neatly into the paper space. It is always a good idea to put multiple templates even though if you only need one. The extras can act as a spare when you mess up one during assembling, or during assembly you can try different ways of assembling, making use of it to achieve the best result possible. delete the rectangle after use. Once you are happy with the paper layout, download the JPEG file to your device with the export function. Make sure it is set to the highest resolution 300 dpi. And voila, this is a template created using Vectra. Check for any errors or missing parts. And then of course you print it out. Make sure it is at the same paper size and orientation as the canvas on Vectra. Print it out at 100% size if it is an option on your device. Time for model assembling. I suppose if you are watching this video, you already made some paper models, so I'm not going to talk about all the steps. And indeed, this is just one of the many ways that you can assemble paper models, so my suggestion is do whatever that suits you. Personally, I will glue the templates to a stronger cardboard or paper card to make the vehicle straight, nice and durable, especially for those vehicles with large flat surfaces. Well, not much in the way of commentating required for this making of video clip, I guess, so just enjoy. For the tool to price, I just double up the paper of the templates and then very carefully cut out the outline of the templates and fold it, glue it together. So this is the final result, the catering truck, shuttle bus and a Toyota Prius. 3 models from download through to resizing, printing and all the way to the final physical models. As mentioned, the price is perhaps a little bit too big, but I mean there's only so small that one can make with your bare hands. So I guess this is what it is. Finally, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. Thank you.